My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest challenges we face every single morning is the call of our own comfort. After praying Fajr, when the eyes are heavy and the bed feels warm, there is a strong temptation to return under the blanket. This is a silent battle, a battle between comfort and discipline, between the desire of the body and the command of Allah. Discipline in Islam begins with mastering the self. When we wake up for Fajr, we are already declaring that Allah is greater than our sleep. But the real test comes when Fajr is over. Do we honor that spiritual momentum and stay awake, or do we give in to the whispers telling us just a little more rest? That moment defines our discipline. The Prophet Muhammad warned us about Shaytan's tricks in this matter. He taught us that Shaytan ties 3 knots at the back of a person's head during sleep, whispering laziness into him. When you wake up and remember Allah, 1 knot is undone. When you perform wudu, the 2nd is undone. And when you pray, the 3rd is undone, and you wake up energetic. But when you go back to sleep, it is as if you are allowing Shaytan to tie those knots again, dragging you back into laziness. Overcoming this desire for comfort is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. When you resist the urge to go back to bed, you are proving to yourself that you can control your nafs. You are training your willpower. If you can conquer your desire for sleep, you can conquer the desire for sin, anger, greed, and impatience. This small daily discipline strengthens you for greater tests in life. Comfort is not always your friend. Too much comfort weakens the body and the soul. Growth only comes when you step outside of comfort. Waking up early, staying awake after Fajr, engaging in worship, Quran, or productive work. All of this might feel difficult at first, but it builds inner strength. That strength carries into your work, your family life, and your relationship with Allah. Look at the lives of the successful and the righteous. They did not achieve greatness by chasing comfort. They achieved it by overcoming their desires and choosing discipline. After Fajr, they would seek knowledge, make dikr, or begin their day's efforts. Their lives carried barakah because they gave up comfort for the sake of Allah. My brothers and sisters, every morning after Fajr, you are faced with this silent test. It is not a loud battle, but it is one of the most important. When you overcome the desire for comfort, you open the door to barakah in your time, energy in your body, and clarity in your mind. So next time you feel the pull of the blanket after Fajr, remind yourself comfort now may cost you blessing later. Discipline now will bring you success in both dunya and akhirah. True believers do not chase comfort, they chase Allah's pleasure. My beloved brothers and sisters, every day when we wake up for Fajr, a silent battle begins. It is not a battle that others can see, but it is one that happens deep within us. The battle against Shaytan's whispers. Shaytan knows the value of the time after Fajr. He knows that if a believer uses it wisely, his day will be full of barakah, his heart will be at peace, and his life will move closer to Allah. That is why Shaytan works harder at this time to pull us back into laziness. The Prophet Muhammad explained to us, Shaytan ties 3 knots at the back of a person's head when they sleep. With each knot, he whispers, you have a long night ahead, so sleep. Subhanallah. Even before we wake up, Shaytan is trying to keep us trapped in bed. But when we rise, remember Allah, make wudu and pray, those knots are undone, and we wake up energetic and refreshed. However, the test does not end after Salah. Shaytan comes again and whispers, you prayed, now rest a little more. He makes the bed feel softer, the blanket warmer, and the eyes heavier. It is at this moment that self-control becomes the believer's shield. If you give in, you lose the blessing of the morning. But if you resist, you defeat Shaytan in one of his subtle tricks. Self-control in Islam is not just about avoiding sins. It is about training the soul to follow discipline over desire. By resisting Shaytan's whisper to sleep after Fajr, you are building inner strength. You are proving to yourself that you are stronger than the whispers. This daily act of self-control makes it easier to resist bigger temptations, whether it's anger, dishonesty, wasting time, falling into haram. Think of self-control as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Each morning after Fajr, when Shaytan whispers laziness and you respond with dhikr, Quran, or productive work, you are exercising that muscle. Over time, you become more resilient, more focused, and more spiritually awake. My beloved brothers and sisters, Shaytan does not need to drag you into major sins to harm you. Sometimes all he needs is to make you waste your time, because if your time is gone, your opportunities are gone. If your morning is wasted, your whole day becomes heavy. And if your days are wasted, your life passes without achievement. That is the danger of listening to his whispers. But the believer who practices self-control turns this around. He wakes up, prays, and says to Shaytan, no, I will not give in to you. I will not let you steal my morning. That decision alone brings strength to the heart, energy to the body, and barakah to the day. So every morning after Fajr, remember that Shaytan is whispering and your soul is being tested. Stand firm. Remind yourself that comfort is temporary, but the blessing of Allah is eternal. The one who controls his nafs at Fajr will find it easier to control it throughout the day. And the one who defeats Shayṭān in the quiet of the morning has already won half the battle of life. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful lessons Islam teaches us is the value of consistency. Success in both dunya and akhirah does not come from doing something once in a while. It comes from building habits, from living with discipline, and from repeating good deeds day after day. The time after Fajr is one of the greatest opportunities to build that consistency and routine in our lives. Think about it. Allah has commanded us to pray 5 times every single day. Why? Because consistency is the mother of discipline. If Allah had only asked us to pray once a week, many of us would forget. But when we pray daily, we are training our souls to live with structure. And the first prayer of the day, Fajr, sets the tone for everything that follows. After Fajr, many of us face a choice. Do we go back to sleep or do we use this time wisely? That decision is not small. It shapes the entire day. If you return to bed, your routine becomes lazy, heavy, and unorganized. But if you remain awake, you immediately begin building a rhythm of productivity and discipline. You start your day with qurn, dhikr, reflection, or purposeful work. That small choice, repeated every morning, becomes a routine that defines your life. The Prophet Muhammad told us that Allah loves deeds that are small but consistent, even more than deeds that are big but rare. Why? Because consistency changes who you are. Reading Quran for 10 minutes after Fajr every single day will bring more light to your heart than reading for 2 hours once a month. Making a little dhikr every morning will protect your soul more than doing it once in a while. Routine builds strength, and strength brings barakah. Consistency also removes the burden of decision making. When you have a routine after Fajr, you don't waste time thinking, what should I do now? Instead, your body and soul already know the answer. You naturally turn to worship, reflection, or meaningful task. That habit saves you from the chaos of wasted time. My brothers and sisters, discipline is not about being harsh on yourself. It is about creating a structure that makes life easier. When you commit to staying awake after Fajr, even for a short while, you are teaching yourself reliability. You are training your mind to focus, your soul to value worship, your body to follow a healthy rhythm. Over time, this builds confidence and peace. If you look at the lives of the scholars, leaders, and pious people of the past, one common trait stands out. They had routines. They didn't waste their mornings. They built consistent habits that allowed them to achieve greatness. And that greatness was not accidental. It was the result of daily discipline starting from Fajr. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, make a conscious effort to build a routine after Fajr. It does not have to be long or complicated. Even 10 minutes of Quran, some dhikr, or planning your day can make a huge difference. What matters most is that you do it consistently. With time, you will notice your life becoming more structured, your faith becoming stronger, your heart becoming more content. Consistency turns ordinary people into extraordinary believers. And the best place to begin building that consistency is the blessed time right after Fajr. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful gifts Allah grants His servants is Barakah, blessing. Barakah is not simply about how much you have, but how far what you have can go. A person may have little, but with Barakah, it feels abundant. Another may have much, but without Barakah, it feels empty and insufficient. The time after Fajr is one of the greatest sources of Barakah in both time and rizq, yet many people neglect it without realizing what they are losing. The Prophet Muhammad made dua for Barakah in the mornings of his ummah. He said, "O Allah, bless my nation in their early mornings." This shows us that there is something very special about beginning the day early, particularly after Fajr. When you stay awake and use that time productively, whether in worship, learning, or work, you invite Allah's blessing into your day. Hours that would normally feel short suddenly feel long and full of opportunities. Tasks that usually take hours may get completed in minutes because Allah places barakah in your time. Barakah in rizq is the same. Rizq is not only money, it is also health, peace of mind, knowledge, good company, and opportunities. Many people chase wealth with long hours, but they miss out on barakah. On the other hand, those who honor their Fajr, start their day with remembrance of Allah, and work with sincerity, often find that their rizq flows more easily in ways they cannot explain. That is the unseen barakah Allah places in their efforts. My brothers and sisters, barakah is something beyond human calculation. You might think that by going back to sleep after Fajr, you are resting and gaining more energy. In reality, you may wake up later feeling heavy, unproductive, and rushed. The time you thought you were gaining is lost. But when you resist the urge to return to bed and instead use those golden hours after Fajr, you will feel energized, focused, and prepared for the entire day. That is barakah in time. Barakah in rizq also comes through gratitude and obedience. When you thank Allah for the morning, when you begin your day with Quran or Dak, when you seek knowledge or begin your work with Bismillah, Allah increases the goodness of what you earn. The Quran reminds us, if you are grateful, I will surely increase you. So 14:7. Gratitude brings increase and obedience brings blessing. Look at the most successful people, even outside Islam. Many of them emphasize rising early, working in the mornings and respecting time. As Muslims, we don't just do this for worldly success. We do it because it is a sunnah, a source of spiritual strength and a means of attracting Allah's blessing in both dunya and akhirah. So, my dear brothers and sisters, never underestimate the power of the time after Fajr. That is when the dua of the Prophet for Barakah rests upon you. Use it wisely and you will see Barakah in your time, in your rizq, in your energy and in your heart. And remember, true success is not about having more, but about having Allah's blessing in whatever He gives you.